The moment you open your mouth, you tell the world exactly how to hurt you. You think you are communicating. You think you are building connection. But in the eyes of a strategist, you are doing something else entirely. You are handing over the blueprints of your mind. You are revealing your insecurities, your desires, your fears, and your breaking points. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who wrote the manual on power, understood a brutal truth that modern society has forgotten. He knew that the most dangerous person in the room is never the one shouting. It is never the one trying to prove they are right. It is the one who listens, watches, and says nothing. Because while everyone else is exhausting themselves trying to be understood, the silent observer is gathering the ammunition to destroy them. If you have ever felt like people use your own words against you, or that you give away your power without meaning, 2, it is because you have not mastered the art of silence. Today we change that. We live in a world that is terrified of the quiet. Look around you. People are desperate to fill every second with noise. Podcasts, music, small talk, notifications. It is a collective addiction. But have you ever asked yourself why? Why is silence so unbearable for the average person? It is because silence acts as a mirror. When the noise stops, you are forced to be alone with yourself. You are forced to hear the thoughts you have been running from. And for most people, that internal voice is a torture chamber. So they talk, they chatter about the weather, about politics, about their problems, desperate for validation, desperate to be seen. But here is the dark reality. The more you talk, the less you are heard, and the more you explain yourself, the less you are respected. Machiavelli observed that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see and few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. When you speak constantly, you become common. You become a commodity. Economics 101. When supply is high, value is low. If your words are everywhere, they are worth nothing. But the person who speaks, rarely the person who hoards their words like gold. When they finally speak, the room stops. People lean in. The value of their voice is artificially inflated by its scarcity. You have been told that to be charismatic, you need to be a great conversationalist. You need to be funny, witty, quick. That is a lie, sold to you by people who want you to entertain them. True power, the kind that makes people respect you without you asking for it, comes from mystery. And there is no mystery in a person who narrates their entire life. Think about the last time you argued with someone. You probably felt a burning need to explain your side, to correct them, to make them understand your point of view. You poured your energy into it. You used logic, emotion, facts, and what happened? Did they say, "Oh, you're right, I apologize"? No, they used your words to fuel their counterattack. They took your vulnerability and weaponized it. Machiavelli warns us to conceal our intentions. He knew that if your enemy knows what you want, they know how to manipulate you. If you tell the world you crave approval, they will withhold it to control you. If you tell them you fear abandonment, they will threaten to leave to make you obey. Your mouth is the leak in your fortress, and until you learn to seal it, you will always be vulnerable. Let's go deeper. There is a psychological phenomenon that happens when you stay silent in a conversation. It's called the vacuum. Human beings are social creatures who rely on feedback, loops. When I smile, you smile. When I speak, you nod. It's a dance. But when you remove your participation from that dance, you break the rhythm. You create a void, and nature abhors a vacuum. When you look at someone with a neutral expression and say nothing, their brain enters a state of panic. They start wondering, did I say something wrong? Do they hate me? Are they judging me? Do they know something I don't? This is where the magic happens. To relieve that anxiety, they start filling the silence. They start talking. And because they are nervous, they start revealing the truth. They will tell you things they never intended to say. They will negotiate against themselves. They will offer concessions before you have even asked for them, all because they cannot handle the weight of your silence. Machiavelli advised princes to let others show their cards first. By staying silent, you force the other person to define the reality of the interaction. You become the judge and they become the defendant. Imagine a negotiation. You ask for a salary raise. The boss says, "We can't do that right now." Most people would immediately jump in with, "Oh, I understand, but I've worked really hard." And stop, say nothing, look them in the eye. Count to 5 in your head. In those 5 seconds, the boss is feeling the pressure. They are thinking, he's not accepting that answer. He might leave. I need to fix this. And often, they will break the silence with, "But maybe we can review it in 3 months, or we can offer a bonus instead." You just made money by doing absolutely nothing. This is weaponized silence. It is not passive. It is aggressive. It is a power move that shifts the dynamic from you seeking their validation to them seeking yours. But to do this, you have to be willing to sit in the fire. You have to be comfortable with the tension. Most people are not. They are so afraid of being awkward that they will sabotage their own interests just to keep the conversation flowing. You must kill that part of you that needs to be liked. The Machiavellian mindset is not about being liked. It is about being effective. If you want to be effective, you must learn to let the silence do the heavy lifting. There is a habit you have, a habit that makes you look weak, insecure, and low. Status. JD. Justify, argue, defend, explain. Every time someone questions you, criticizes you, or even just looks at you the wrong way, your instinct is to jade. You want to set the record straight. You want to clarify your intentions. "I didn't mean it like that. I was just trying to help. The reason I was late is because the traffic was bad." And listen to that tone. It is the tone of a child in the principal's office. It is the tone of a subordinate. When you explain yourself, you are implicitly granting the other person authority over you. You are saying, "You have the right to judge me, and I must prove my innocence to you." A king does not explain his decrees. A general does not justify his orders to the private. They state what is, and they move on. Machiavelli knew that appearances are everything. If you appear uncertain, you are eaten alive, and nothing screams uncertainty louder than over-explanation. When you make a decision, own it. If you make a mistake, acknowledge it and fix it, but do not explain it. "I made a mistake. It won't happen again." That is strength. "I made a mistake because I was tired and my alarm didn't go off and my cat was sick." That is weakness. The more words you use to prop up your actions, the less stable they look. It's like a building, a structure that stands on its own needs no support beams. A structure that is falling down needs scaffolding. Your explanations are the scaffolding. They tell the world my character is not strong enough to stand on its own. This is difficult. It goes against your social conditioning. You were raised to be polite. You were raised to be nice. But politeness is often just submission in a tuxedo. Try this experiment for 1 week. When someone asks you why you did something, give them the real reason in 1 sentence, or simply say, "Because I decided to." Then stop. Watch their reaction. They will be confused. They will wait for the apology, the excuse, the shuffle. When it doesn't come, their respect for you will shoot up because you have just demonstrated that you are not looking for their permission to exist. You are sovereign, and sovereignty requires silence. It requires the ability to let people misunderstand you. This is a profound level of strength. Can you handle being the villain in someone else's story without trying to edit the script? Can you let them think you are arrogant, cold, or wrong, and just go about your day? If you can, you are untouchable because your self-worth is no longer held hostage by their opinion. In warfare, Intelligence is the most valuable currency. If I know where your troops are, how much food you have, and what your general is afraid of, I have already won. Life is a form of warfare. It is a competition for resources, for status, for mates, for peace of mind. Machiavelli wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. To be the fox, you must operate in the shadows. You must be unreadable. When you tell people everything about your life, you are illuminating your position. You are turning on the flood. Lights in the middle of a dark field. Everyone can see you. You can see no one. You tell your co-workers you hate your boss. Now they have leverage. You tell your friend you are having marriage problems. Now they can judge your partner or spread rumors. You tell the internet your next big business move. Now your competitors know exactly how to block you. You call it venting. Machiavelli would call it suicide. You must cultivate information asymmetry. This means you know more about them than they know about you. How do you do this? By asking questions and withholding answers. Become a black hole for information. Absorb everything. Give back nothing but vague reflections. When someone asks, "What are you up to these days?" the amateur says, "I'm working on this new project. It's really hard. I'm hoping to get promoted." The strategist says, "Keeping busy. Things are good. How are you handling that new account?" Deflect, pivot, return the focus to them. People love to talk about themselves. If you let them, they will leave the conversation thinking you are a fascinating person, even though they learned absolutely nothing about you. This creates a protective fog around your life. When people don't know what you are doing, they cannot sabotage you. They cannot envy you effectively because they don't know what to envy. They cannot block your path because they don't know where you are going. There is a terror in the unknown. Why are we afraid of the dark? Not because of what is there, but because of what might be there. When you are silent, you become the dark. People will project their own strength onto you. They will assume you are smarter than you are. They will assume you are more connected than you are. They will assume you have a plan, even if you are making it up as you go. Let them build a monument to you in their minds. Do not open your mouth and shatter the illusion. This is not about being deceitful. It is about being private. Privacy is power. In an age of surveillance capitalism, where every click is tracked and every moment is shared, reclaiming your privacy is a revolutionary act. Be the glitch in the algorithm. Be the blank space. There is another cost to know. Ice that we rarely discuss. Energy. Talking is exhausting. Explaining is draining. Maintaining a persona to please others is a metabolic tax on your soul. How many times have you come home from a social gathering feeling completely depleted? Not because you ran a marathon, but because you spent 3 hours performing. You were smiling when you didn't want to smile. You were laughing at jokes that weren't funny. You were filling silences to make others comfortable. You are leaking energy, and you wonder why you have no drive left for your own dreams. You gave it all away to people who don't even matter. Machiavelli was a pragmatist. He believed in the conservation of resources. You cannot conquer an empire if your troops are exhausted from marching in circles. Silence is a battery charger. When you stop talking, you stop leaking. You keep your energy contained within your own vessel. You can direct that energy toward observation, toward planning, toward execution. The most powerful people I have met are often the quietest. They are not shy. They are efficient. They do not waste words. Every sentence has a purpose. This is therapeutic darkness. It is the practice of withdrawing your energy from the external world and pooling it internally. It allows you to think. Critical thinking is impossible when you are constantly reacting. If you are always in a debate, always in a conversation, you are never in reflection. You become a leaf in the wind blown around by the opinions of the day. To be a strategist, to be Machiavellian, you must detach. You must step back from the fray. You must view the world from a distance. Silence provides that distance. When you are silent, you are no longer a participant in the chaos. You are an observer of it. You can see the patterns. You can see who is lying. You can see who is posturing. You can see the dynamics of power shifting in the room. You cannot see the game if you are the ball being kicked around. You have to be the player, or better yet, the architect of the game. This requires you to be comfortable being boring. Modern society worships entertainment. If you are quiet, people think you are boring. Let them think you are dull. While they are dancing for attention, you are building an empire. While they are getting dopamine hits from likes and comments, you are getting dopamine from actual progress. Do not trade your power for applause. Applause is cheap. Freedom is expensive, and the currency of freedom is focus. You cannot focus if you are noisy. Let's talk about fear. Machiavelli famously asked whether it is better to be loved or feared. He concluded that it is safer to be feared. But fear does not mean running around screaming and threatening people. That is the behavior of a weak man pretending to be strong. True fear, respectful fear, comes from unpredictability. If I know exactly how you will react to everything, I own you. If I know that if I insult you, you will get angry, I can use that anger to distract you. If I know that if I compliment you, you will lower your guard, I can use that flattery to disarm you. Predictability is a death sentence. Silence destroys predictability. When you are silent, you break the cause and effect loop. Someone insults you, they expect anger, you give them silence. Now they are confused. Did he hear me? Does he not care? Is he planning revenge? You have disrupted their OA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. They cannot orient themselves because you gave them no data. A predictable leader is easily overthrown. A predictable negotiator is easily fleeced. A predictable partner is easily taken for granted. By withholding your reaction, you retain your autonomy. You choose if you will react, when you will react, and how you will react. This is the essence of Kant. Role. Most people are slaves to their impulses. Stimulus, response, like a dog hearing a bell. The master inserts a gap between stimulus and response. That gap is silence. In that gap you choose. Does getting angry serve my purpose? No, it will make me look emotional and irrational. Therefore, I will smile. That control is terrifying to manipulative people. Manipulators rely on your buttons. They look for the triggers. Oh, he's insecure about his intelligence. I'll make a joke about that. If they press the button and nothing happens, the machine is broken. They cannot play you. You become a ghost. You cannot fight a ghost. You cannot hurt a ghost. You can only fear it. Machiavelli urges us to be adaptable, to change with the winds of fortune. You cannot change if you are locked into a pattern of reactive behavior. Silence is the blank canvas upon which you can paint any reaction you choose. It gives you the flexibility to be the lion one moment and the fox the next. So how do you apply this? You do not need to take a vow of silence and move to a monastery. You need to apply tactical silence in your daily life. Here are 3 protocols to install immediately. Protocol 1, the 3-second rule. Before you answer any question, any accusation, or any statement, count to 3. 1, 2, 3, then speak. This does 2 things. First, it kills the people-pleaser reflex to answer instantly. Second, it makes you look thoughtful and controlled. It adds weight to your answer. Protocol 2, the soft gaze. When someone is trying to intimidate you or pressure you, do not look away and do not glare. Just look at them. Soft eyes, relaxed face, and say, nothing. Wait for them to break. They will repeat themselves. They will stutter. They will look away. You are the rock. They are the water. Let them crash against you. Protocol 3, the information diet. Stop reporting your life. Stop posting every thought. Stop telling your friends every detail of your day. Go dark for a month. See what happens. You will realize that 90% of what you say is just noise to manage your own anxiety. When you stop saying it, the anxiety might spike at first. Ride it out. On the other side of that, anxiety is a calm, cold power you have never felt before. You will start to see the world differently. You will see people as actors reading scripts they didn't write. You will see the strings, and for the first time in your life, you will be the one holding the scissors. We are told that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and maybe in the short term, the loud people get the attention, they get the drama, they get the sympathy, but they never get the throne. The throne belongs to the one who can keep his counsel. The throne belongs to the one who can endure the silence that others flee from. Machiavelli was not writing for the masses. He was writing for the outlier, the prince, the one who is willing to do what is necessary, not what is polite. Silence is your most dangerous weapon because it is the only weapon that cannot be disarmed. They can take your money, they can take your status, they can slander your name, but they cannot take your silence unless you give it to them. It is the ultimate fortress. Within it you are safe, within it you are sane, within it you are plotting. Do not let the world drag you into its noise. The noise is a distraction designed to keep you weak, reactive, and asleep. Wake up, shut up, and watch how the world bends to you. But understand this, silence is only the shield. It protects you, it hides you, and it confuses your enemy. But a shield cannot win a war. You also need a sword. Once you have mastered the art of silence, you must learn the art of the strike. You must learn when to break that silence with an action so decisive, so calculated that it ends the conflict before it begins. That is the darker side of strategy. That is where we leave the realm of defense and enter the realm of conquest. But you are not ready for that yet. First, learn to be quiet. If you are ready to stop being a victim of your own words, if you are ready to reclaim the power you have given away, subscribe. We are building a council of minds that refuse to be loud. See you in the shadows.